Hello and welcome to today's prenatal yoga video, and this one is going to be for your hips. I'm Lucy and I'm a yoga teacher specialising in pregnancy and childbirth preparation, and my sequences are designed to make you feel more comfortable during pregnancy but also to prepare you for birth by softening the muscles, maintaining strength and teaching you about the importance of upright positioning. Today's short introduction is going to be all about releasing in your hips, which is a really important part of the area when preparing for birth. Due to your pregnancy, your hips are going to become a little bit tighter throughout those 9 months, and yoga is going to help to release those areas. You can do this sequence if you are 12 weeks pregnant or over, all the way up to full term, as long as you've had that first 12-week scan. And if there's anything that you're doing today that doesn't feel quite right or even painful, then please do stop. And if you're still unsure, please do check with your midwife. Otherwise, let's get started. Do come and sit in a comfortable position. And today I'd like you to come and sit on your bottoms like I am. If you are experiencing any pelvic pain, then this sequence may not be so productive for you unless you've already spoken to a physiotherapist. But otherwise, do see how you feel, because some people find that yoga can really help and some find that they need to modify it a little bit more. Otherwise, on your bottoms like this, we're going to start very simply with our breathing, because our breathing is the center of yoga, and that is what is going to really aid you in keeping you calm and stress-free during pregnancy, but it also comfortable during labour as well. So taking one hand onto your chest for me and the other hand onto your tummy and your baby, and let's just take a moment to connect. You can just start by lowering your eye gaze or closing your eyes completely and just simply noticing your breath as it comes in and out of the body. You don't have to change it dramatically, just be aware of the breath. So inhaling through the nose or mouth, and exhaling through the nose or mouth. A couple of times just to prepare us for our sequence. Inhaling and exhaling. And when we use our breathing, it really allows us to focus on letting go of any tension we might be carrying today, anything that isn't serving us while we're trying to focus on ourselves. Filling up the lungs with oxygen and exhaling to let it go. Lovely. Last time, inhaling and exhaling. Very good. So let's move on to our first lovely posture for the hips and the inner thighs. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So just following me, you're going to bring your feet together in front of you so that they are connected and your knees are out to the side. Now you might find that your knees are quite high up, or you might find that your knees are able to release down. If you're not quite comfortable, you can always place a cushion under each knee to help you to release them. Otherwise, we're just going to focus on letting the knees go. And the knees can do most of the work for us here by being heavy enough to help open out the legs. And all I want you to do is start to very gently rock your body side to side. You might already start to feel a little gentle stretch on the inner thighs. And what I'd like you to try and think about is how you can use your breath, inhaling slowly as you move and exhaling as well. And in a second, we're going to start to move this in more circular motions that are going to really help ease out the lower back as well as your hip flexors. So using your chest, we're going to start to move forward and round in a circle, and you might again begin to feel your hips starting to release. So our hips can be a real place of tension for us, and they can feel quite uncomfortable. And as I said earlier, this can be due to the change in your body putting more weight onto the hips from carrying your baby and your placenta. Movements like this are really simple but really, really effective, and keeping the hips soft and open is going to really aid a upright, active, mobile birth. So keep moving. Good. And then once we've gone both ways a few times, we're going to settle into the center in just a moment. So making sure we've done a few rounds of circles. Good. And then settling back into the middle. I want you to breathe in and grow nice and tall out of the hips. And as you exhale, you're very gently going to fold the chest forward to wherever feels right for you. This is very dependent on your stage of pregnancy and your natural mobility. You might choose to bring your feet a little further forward, but wherever you are, really listen to your body and just breathe into it. Inhaling, exhaling, let the knees fall out to the side. Allow the hips to open. Lovely. Last round of breath here. And exhaling. Good. And then we're just gently going to come back and move on to an all fours position. So bringing your feet into a cross-legged, using your hands very carefully to bring you onto all fours for our next hip opener. And this one is going to be a lunge position, which is also a fantastic upright birth position. So with your hands in front of you, you're going to take one foot out to the side like this. And you want your knee just over your ankle. You do not want your knee to come over the toes. So keeping that knee in a nice position, you're going to use your hands in front of you to support you. And you're very simply going to move forward and back. And what we're trying to do here is find some space in the hip joint, but this is really opening the pelvis, which is why this is such a productive birth position. With an open pelvis, your baby can descend with far greater ease. Good, so you're just simply moving forward and back. You might choose to take your hands onto the hips if it allows, if your body allows, and if you feel comfortable like this. You're just moving forward and back, using your breath as you move. We'll do that on the other side. Good, so taking your hands down to the floor, and then very gently just changing, bringing one knee in and the other knee out to the side. Finding that position, knee just over ankle, not the toes, hands in front, and again, forward and back, forward and back. Now it's very, very normal to feel differently from on one side than the other, and this is just due to your natural range of motion in your body. Using that breath to help with the movement, and again, remember you might choose to come up onto the hips. Breathing in and out as you move, being really gentle with the body. Bring your hands down when you're ready, and bringing your knees back together. Really nice. Very good, everyone. And then very lastly, just to finish, we're going to come into an all fours position, and we're going to widen the knees to the outer edges of your mat, as wide as it feels comfortable to you. And you're then going to sit your bottoms back towards your heels into our child's pose position. Now from here, depending on your stage of pregnancy and your bump size, you might want to stay here and simply soften the head down, or you might choose to come all the way down, and you can also use cushions and blankets underneath to support you. Soften the upper body into the ground, and wherever you've chosen to be, close the eyes down one last time to relax the body. And what we're doing here is just softening into the hips and focusing on our breath. This is a really restful place to be during pregnancy. And if you're having a particularly long labour, child's pose can be a great place to rest. Just breathe in and out. Allow the body to release. Good. And we're going to do one last breath here. And when you're ready, gently coming back up and sitting on your bottoms again to finish. And hopefully, with some very simple postures like those, you already can feel a difference in your hip joints. And I hope that has helped you today. Let's take a deep breath in to finish. Bring your arms all the way up. Exhale to bring your hands all the way down to finish. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great rest of the day. Well done.